Welcome back, guys. You know, when you look at things in more depth, it kind of comes apparent that you pick up things that you don't necessarily pick up before. I did those side corners red. Thought they'd look really good. The problem is now is there's a lot of red on that bonnet, and the stripes there, I've now lost them. They've disappeared, and the bonnet looks like it's a bit of an oddball, like it's been pushed to one side because of those stripes. What I'm saying is each side of that lorry there's too much red. That red isn't working. I'm really annoyed about it because I think the red itself is a really nice colour. But if something doesn't work, then something does not work. And unfortunately, that red isn't working. They need to be black. I've lost the red in that black because of the red on the outside edge. It's pretty obvious, really, when you think about it. For example, you can see on that side that if I was to paint the rest of that lorry red, that bonnet wouldn't look right, because there is now too much black. I'd have to do everything red. So I am going to have to remove those two corner pieces, remove all the lights, and I think at this opportunity, because I cocked up all the holes on the other side anyway, I might fill up that side, not so much this side but definitely that side, paint them black, put them back on. But I might put a pinstripe around with red in it. I think so yeah, I don't know how well this is going to take. I can see as soon as I put the black paint on, I ain't going to get reaction. I know I am. Can I get this done before Friday as well? Would be nice. And they're not strobe lights. I think I might owe the wife an apology, but I shall just keep my mouth shut for the time being. Those lights on the side, those lights, yeah, whatever, those lights on the side of the truck, no, they're not strobe. They never were meant to be strobe, and they were meant to be 12 volt. What I had done is I bought some independent strobe ones, and they weren't working on this controller very well. And to be honest, they weren't working on it at all, to be fair. So in my time of wisdom, which I don't have a lot of, I bought a series of normal side 12 volt markers, which is what I got on there now. Yeah, so what we got is, I haven't wired that last one up, so we can have them permanently on thus, or we can do that, which is why I went for the non-strobe ones, because the controller, if you wire them up and configure them correctly, like in output 1, output 2, if I was to put the bottom left and the top right on one output together, then I've got a flash at the bottom and a flash simultaneously, so it's going literally top, bottom, and then the other two in the opposite. So what I'm saying is, and it's very difficult to explain, bottom one flashes, top one left flashes at the same time. So it's going to be flash, 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 and then on the spare outputs I've got the originals, which you can control the individual bulbs inside in the similar manner that I'm doing here, depending on how you wire them up. On the actual light itself, you can control the individual bulbs, but with this you can't. And I've tried to duplicate the way they're wired in, but there's just too many 12 volt bulbs, and this is a 12-volt output, so I can only control it that way. So I've put literally the two negatives together, the two pluses together on one side, and that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I was hoping to be able to do light chasers through the actual lights and stuff like that, but no, this system that I'm doing won't allow it. I'd have to have individual bulbs, which would have to be rated at less than 12 volt per bulb, and they'd have to be, I think it's daisy chained, possibly. Basically the negative to the plus, and then the other negative to the other plus, and I'd have to link them up until I've got a negative at one end and a plus at the other end, and I might be able to get them to work the way they would if they're individual bulbs, and that's the only way I can explain it. Now look, I've pulled, there's the controller, we know that works. I've now got to take these blasted lights off, and I've got to repaint. Got no choice, because this is the other side with all the extra holes, like there, there and there, because I measured it all wrong. Right, but the other side went smoothly well, apart from the fact it's covered in dust, but we can get rid of that dust in the summer. Not going to do it at the moment. And I cheated. I actually used a matte rattle can black, and just went straight over the top. I even didn't really do much in the way of sanding either. Very lazy, very quick. I may very well redo this again in the summer, but for the moment it will do as you see it, so I'm happy enough. I've got to go and get some more lacquer now because I've run out. The gun, I don't think my gun is cleaning very well. I've got it in there at the moment, but it's spitting out. Pretty sure it's the gun. Don't think there's anything else. So we've got to fill up these holes now, sand this one back, whack some black over it, mask the pinstripe tape on as I did on this one. You can see there, look. Turn that off now and go from there, really. Right, that's the second one, covered in dust. I will be re-tackling these in the summer, because the old pinstripe line in black is still evident as a mark. Really does need sanding back properly. I need to be in a better environment dust wise, because honestly this is not a good situation. Before anyone judges me as some kind of dickhead bodge artist, it's just a means to an end. I need to see what this is going to look like. It was one rattle can of black, a quick fill. I did not put any effort into this on either of them. I just want to whack them back on, see what it looked like, and then I want to try and work out a plan in my head of how the rest of this is going to come together. I will start the rest of this in the summer paint wise, and then return back to these and improve on the quality, because at the moment it's pretty rubbish. I may even pull the bonnet off actually and redo that as well, because I'm not happy with the black pinstriping that I put on the bonnet, which is that old flipping 70s style stuff that you get from Alfred's. It's really quite bad. That's yesterday's effort. I filled up the holes, but I didn't do a very good job of the filling, to be fair. Stands out a little bit. I ain't overly worried about it, because I'm going to redo these in the summer anyway. This was just a means to an end. Billion holes, because I couldn't make my mind up which one goes where. And it's now black with a red pinstripe all the way around, which I'm quite happy about. What I'm not happy about is shops today are rubbish. Yeah, I'm having a whinge. You can't buy nothing in the shops anymore. It's just stupid. Everyone likes to do the internet, but the postage is so messed up at the moment that it's probably going to be quicker to get it off a flipping, to get it from a shop. So I bought some backlight spray tint, because that's all they had. What I wanted, that used to sell but don't no more, is the stuff that stretches over the lights with the little pinprick holes in it, like a fishnet type sticky back stuff. So I'm trying my hardest to spray this stuff on. The problem is, it's been on the shelf, I suspect, for such a long time that the pigment has sunk to the bottom of the can and has gone so hard that it won't shift. So when I first sprayed these on, I went so heavy that the light wouldn't shine through. Well, that's no good because these are strobes. But I do want the orange hidden up a little bit, you know? I think we're going to have to buy a new set of lights at a later date. I managed to get a thin film, a very thin film, but it's still bloody terrible. And I'm just sitting here attempting to dry them off. When I first sprayed them up, the black was more of a grey, so I knew the pigment was at the bottom and wasn't coming out as well as it should. And I sat there for about an hour shaking that damn can, trying to get this stuff to loosen up. I even put it in hot water to try and, you know, get some heat in there and loosen it up. Nope, there's just not a lot I could do with it, I'm afraid. And it was only kicking out about half the amount of pigment that the can had. It's supposed to be transparent as well, but there was nothing transparent about it by the time I got these covered on the first attempt. So no, we won't be doing that again. I think what I might do, knowing full well that I am going to be peeling those panels off in the summer, I might actually get some of that mesh ready. So just order it and chuck it on shelf. I tend to do things like that from time to time. For example, every Halloween I always go to the range and see what Halloween stuff there is, and I managed to get my hands on 2 rolls of net, which is what I use for my paint spray. However, I don't know if I need that anymore, because I think we're going to get an airbrush set, a proper airbrush set, and I'll be able to do my own webs, and I won't need stencils and stuff. So that's where they're on. Apparently, what I'm after is called Fly Eye Window Tint Film, and that's what I need for those, because the window tint paint is a load of damn rubbish, and I ain't joking, it's the worst stuff I've ever come across. So I am pretty damn pleased with that. Now we've got to buff up. I'm going to get a cloth in a minute and just wipe down that bonnet, and so we can get that black up a little bit better, because it looks a bit dirty. But I'm pretty pleased with it. Okay, I do apologise. I was trying to give it more enthusiasm, but the Grim Reaper that I happened to have as one of my neighbours, I won't say which side, was out, and I couldn't demonstrate very much because she was sitting in the car. Anyway, there you go, guys and girls. What do you think? So we've got to do that all black, and we'll use the red as a fill-in instead of it being the primary colour. I like it myself personally. The grill is a bit damaged. If I can find another one of those grills down there that hasn't got broken components, then I will go about fitting one. I also need to stick some kind of handle on the front of that bonnet as well, just make life a little bit easier. So in the summer months, we will set to work cleaning up all the rest of the paint that needs doing. We'll take the doors off, take them in the shed, and then the rest of it will just get sprayed. I mean, you've got the black already up there, so if I just touch over some of the damage, we could just straight lacquer it once we've Scotch brighted it. But how long that will last, I don't know, because you can see it peeling. It's water-based. Is what that is. It's not the best in the world. So a good power washing is what we need to do next. I need to polish that bonnet up because that's a mess. So we need to get some tea cut out and give that a good going over. Oh, that's so much better, because the bonnet was lost before. Too much red. So there you go. What do you think? There you go. Best shot I can give you. Your thoughts? Please comment. Let me know. I am planning to get some of that, how do they call it? It's not frog eye. It's not fish eye. I've forgotten the name of it already. Fly, that's it. Some of that fly eye mesh because I plan to stick that over the lights. I can't take these off now and change them for something else. I did try that earlier, and the backing has left horrible marks on the paint already because it's like fresh paint. So they are there for good, unless I do a respray, and then I might do a change later date. I did say I was going to redo these in the summer, but we'll see where we are close to the time. But we do need to deal with those lights because they are absolutely terrible. I straightened that one up, but no, that one looked a bit out. That needs to come across, but I daren't move it. And I forgot to fill that hole at the top. Damn nuisance. Unless I move that up a little higher, I don't know if that's going to notice if I don't. Don't know. Anyway guys, this is more of a part 2 to the last video I put up. So you got a reasonably decent length now. So what's next on the agenda? Well, I don't want to do any more lorry. I'm not really in the mood for that. I don't want to do the bike. I want to walk away from that for a period of time. So we do have the CB Brat that we've been building that needs pulling apart. I've got some tools on order, which I'm waiting for delivery. I think my camera's playing up. There you go. Wakey wakey, flaming camera. As I was saying, I've got some tools on order for that gun, so we've got that to do or to deal with very soon. So I think we've got this to sort out. We've got to strip it because I've now got to get that ready for paint. Still don't know what the colour scheme's going to be. I haven't fully made my mind up about it yet. Not fully. Genuinely, I don't know. I'd like to go silver on the frame to make it look like raw metal. There is a technique. I believe you spray black on and then you spray silver, and then you get a rag, you start wiping, and the black and the silver starts to mix a little bit. So you get the streaks, the different tones that you get when you wire brush. Now, you could just lacquer this up, but if we're honest, I don't think the lacquer would last very long. I think eventually it will scratch up and come off. It will just peel because it's got nothing to absorb into. It needs primering first. That's the problem with paint. You need a primer. I mean, you could try it, but I ain't. So I think it's pull this apart. I think that's what we're going to do next. I haven't got anything else on the agenda other than I need to get the Vegas outside because I need to give that a bit of a service. New fuel. And I'd like to write down on paper what needs doing to it. I can make a start in planning that. I know there's some black paint replacement required, and a little bit of a clear up around here wouldn't be a bad idea either, really. So, because after Christmas we're doing the truck. We're going to get some work done on that. We're also going to put the money back from my bike test, and then we're going to book that closer to summer. I was going to do it over the winter months, but I've since changed my mind. And the reason for that is I wear glasses. And on a rainy day, that's going to be a problem. I've got enough to contend with bad hearing without having glasses interfering on the actual test itself. So I've decided that I am actually going to book it. I was going to do it for this year, but I was waiting for the colder weather like now. I was going to book it now, but I sort of changed my mind. I changed my mind basically because I wear these horrible things and contact lenses. Not really sure about those at the moment, so bike test, that will be next year in the spring. In the meanwhile, I'll be saving up a bit more money because I need to put back 250 quid, and I reckon that'll bring me up to 1,000, and then I've got to get another 250 on top of that because CBT and everything is so expensive. I don't know why the government are making it so damn difficult for people to ride bicycles. I thought we had a thing called freedom in this country. I do wonder sometimes. We are starting to get very suppressed, but our freedoms are a lot more than what they are in some countries. So that is pretty much the way it is, isn't it? Anyway, that's enough with the political bullshit. I am going to disappear now, and I will see you next time on the rusty road to greasy gold. That is exactly what it is. Laters.